Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Thursday, 5th September 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. St. Lucia has installed a new acting commissioner of police for 6 months in the first instance. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Former Director of Corrections, Vern Gard, has been appointed as Acting Commissioner of Police of St. Lucia. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made the announcement on Monday. Gard has been appointed on a 6-month contract effective September 2nd, 2022. He takes over from Cruzita Descartes-Pelios, whose 1-year contract ended August 31st, 2024. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
As any police officer, he is in line, like any police officer. Any police officer is in line to succeed. The job of police is not a permanent job.
Vern Gard has left the post of Director of Corrections at the Bordelais Correctional Facility to lead the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, who has oversight of national security, made the announcement at Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing. Gard will serve as Acting Police Commissioner for 6 months in the first instance, says the Prime Minister.
As you know, it's a position that that has to be carefully scrutinized, and you have to look at the output, etc., and then after that, a decision will be taken.
Gard replaces former Commissioner Cruzita Descartes-Pelios, whose 1-year contract expired over the weekend. When Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre announced her reinstatement last year after her retirement in June 2023, he said that this was to facilitate preparations for new leadership following the end of a contract. It was understood that senior members of the force would undergo a comprehensive professional training program. The Prime Minister was asked whether there are considerations for any of the executive members of the RSLPF to head up the force.
The decision to train the hierarchical police force is ongoing and still going on.
So at the present moment, none of them fit
their training is still going on, but it's at this time that it would have been better to appoint Mr. Gard, who's got extensive experience in training, extensive experience in police work. We thought it would be better at this point to appoint Mr. Gard.
Pelios at a press conference last week expressed confidence that the RSLPF is in a stronger position thanks to her leadership. The Prime Minister was asked for his assessment of her leadership over the past year.
We haven't got a measure of it's difficult to measure what's happening, but I know the police, their conditions of work have improved tremendously. The police have more resources than they ever had, possibly for a long time. Right now, we are building a new divisional headquarters for the police in the north. Something they wanted for quite a while. We're building new police stations. We're getting them new vehicles. We are completing the custody suites. We have 70 recruits being trained. Recruits have not been trained for almost a decade. So in terms of resources, in terms of equipping the police to do their job, that's happening. In terms of morale, I can't tell you, I can't judge it, but I can tell you I've got full cooperation from the High Command of the police force, and I wish them well. And this morning we had a meeting with the new commissioner, and they pledged their support to the new commissioner.
The shift in leadership of the RSLPF comes as the country recorded its 56th homicide. The Prime Minister anticipates that God's achievements in the field of corrections can translate into stemming the crime scourge.
Mr. God comes highly trained. He's worked out of St. Lucia. He comes highly trained in all aspects of policing. He's an experienced police officer. He started from within the ranks and he's risen. So I have no doubt in my mind that his experience and his training should augur well for the future of the police force.
With Vern God's appointment as Acting Commissioner of Police, Leonard Terrence, who previously served as the Deputy Director of Corrections, will now serve in the post of Acting Director of Corrections at the Bordelais Correctional Facility. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
In association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Antigua and Barbuda's Police Commissioner Atlee Rodney says the intensified anti-crime measures by the law enforcement agencies are beginning to yield results, but now is not the time for complacency. He made the comments during an ABS crime forum at John E. St. Louis Conference Center on Sunday night. Teresa Goodwin of ABS News reports.
Over the past 2 months, a surge in violent crimes has shaken the entire nation, creating fear among homeowners, business owners, and other members of society. It has prompted a response from many public officials who are calling for a holistic approach to address the issue. Police Commissioner Atlee Rodney says there is still a lot of work that has to be done.
We are seeing improvement, and the reason for that, a number of persons that were involved in those criminal activities has been arrested. We have brought quite a few of them before the courts in recent time, and there are some other persons that are likely to be charged in very short notice. So,
Commissioner Rodney says the police has made major inroads and will continue to partner with the relevant agencies to get the job done. The government has made significant investments to strengthen the resources of both the police and defense forces to tackle the issue head-on.
The increased patrols will be there. The increase in the intelligence officers that are out there getting the information, that they return that information to the operation department, that will continue. So there are some visibility you will see, and there is some that you will not see.
The Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force is also a crucial partner in this effort. Chief of Defense Staff Brigadier Telbert Benjamin says both agencies have strong collaboration, have been collaborating for years, and the military will continue to be a supporting partner.
What we do is partner to ensure that the police can be efficient as possible, ensure that we remove those who need to be removed from the streets. It has been happening from 1st of January and will continue until the 1st of January. So there is no question about what we have on the street. We are there, and we are there 24/7.
Law enforcement officers are also highlighting a growing trend in which most of the reported crimes involve repeat offenders, often released on bail. Most perpetrators are also between the ages of 15 to 25 years of age. In 2023, 850 people were arrested and charged, and the majority being repeat offenders. Acting head of the Criminal Investigations Department, Superintendent Lisborne Michael, shared some frightening statistics Sunday night.
That amount in terms of repeat offenders, 474.
Of 850, 474 are repeat offenders.
The government is considering changes to the law to make it harder for people accused of certain violent crimes to secure bail. It is part of a slew of measures that are to be addressed in the House of Representatives on Thursday of this week. Theresa Goodwin, ABS News.
There have been 443 fatal police shootings in the last 11 years in Trinidad and Tobago. The family of one victim has lost faith in the service meant to protect and serve citizens, saying it's been over a year that they have been waiting for justice. CNC3's Shaliza Hassanali reports.
Guard Richard still grieves for his son Fabian, who was gunned down by the police in Port of Spain. Fabian was one of 55 people who was killed by the police in 2022. An autopsy showed that Fabian and his two friends, Leonardo Williams and Isaiah Roberts, were shot from behind. Multiple bullets pierced Fabian's body, two of which entered his skull. Convinced his son was executed, Richards has lost all faith and confidence in the police service. He now harbors hate in his heart for those who are supposed to protect and serve the population.
To me, I watch the police like they say enemies. This year, more advantages than anything else.
Richards said Fabian was a law-abiding citizen pursuing an electrical installation course when his life was cut short.
He wasn't doing bad, boy. But the stigma will come like that.
2 years after the tragedy, Richards said the police's investigation has been moving
like molasses on a cold night.
Statistics from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and Police Complaints Authority show that from 2014 to August 2024, police registered 443 fatal police shootings stemming from 348 incidents. Between January 1st, 2015 and August 22nd of this year, the PSAs documented 313 fatal police shootings. Both the PCA and the TTPS recorded its highest fatal police killings in 2020. The TTPS recorded 62 killings while the PSA 53. For this year so far, police recorded 33 killings while the PSA recorded 21. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley recently came to the defense of officers, noting that the recent increase in killings could serve as a warning to criminals. Since 2015, 15 matters have been referred to the DPP and Police Commissioner for criminal and misconduct in public office charges to be laid. The PCA is an independent body set up by Parliament to keep watch over the police, which has a strength of over 7,000.
The average is about 35 shootings a month.
Gideon Dixon, president of the Police Social and Welfare Association, defended his officers, saying that they don't take pride in taking someone else's life. Denying that the death squad exists in the police service, Dixon noted that officers are guided by their use of force policy. He said data shows that the majority of police officers involved in fatal shootings are exonerated when witnesses come forward and facts are presented. Shaliza Hassanali, CNC3 News.
MSR Media, in a recently issued press release, says it has obtained banking information of the parties involved in a defamation lawsuit filed against MSR CEO Felipe Martinez. Andre Huey of SKN Newsline has more.
The judge in the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, had granted access to documents held in the U.S.-based banks in relation to the defamation lawsuits brought by former St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, Ms. Ying Jing, and the Caribbean Galaxy Real Estate Corporation against Mr. Felipe Martinez and MSR Media SKN Limited. In defense against the lawsuits, Martinez and MSR Media SKN Limited filed to have access to the documents said to be held by three banks, namely Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and J.P. Morgan Chase. But lawyers for Dr. Harris, Ms. Jing, and Galaxy sought to have the access denied. The judge earlier this year eventually ruled in Martinez's favor, and this latest press release disclosed that MSR has received the documentation showing bank transactions. The release said on August 29th that the Bank of America statements concerning Les Can, Caribbean Galaxy, and Ying Jing were filed in the St. Kitts and Nevis court in reference to the defamation case, and MSR Media is raising questions about the transactions. MSR Media is locked in a legal battle with former and current government officials alleging illegal activities involving the country's Citizenship by Investment program. SK Newsline will continue to monitor this developing story. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's a service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.